nowhere I feel safe. Nowhere. Do you know how it feels to have the President of the United States to target you? The President of the United States is supposed to represent every American, not to target one. But he targeted me, Lady Ruby, a small business owner, a mother, a proud American citizen who stand up to help Fulton County run an election in the middle of the pandemic.
Lady Ruby.
Yep.
Today's show in honor, today's T-shirt in honor of. I didn't realize
subtle.
we had a really prominent congressperson.
Yes, you did.
When I chose this T-shirt. She can roll with it, though.
Yeah.
She can rock and roll with it. Oh, we don't have a...
No.
Oh, we have Just Fine American music
Right.
every time. Where is my Jan Schakowsky jingle? Rocky Mountain Mike, let's go.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Let's just say good morning to Fine American, rocking Congresswoman from the great state of Illinois, Jan Schakowsky. Good morning, Representative.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Steph.
I have to tell you, I don't think I've felt the level of anger out there from our listeners. I mean, people in general from yesterday's hearing, just the pure raw emotion of watching these Americans whose lives were destroyed by this president.
It was just so painful. I watched that.
Ex-president. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
I mean, here's a woman who was, for years, I understand, trying to help just make elections go smoothly. She was just a, stand-up citizen, helping people, and suddenly became targeted. And when she talked yesterday, she said, really, in many ways, her life was just ruined, and that of her mother. It's just incredible. And to have the president of the United States targeting her, really, it was a kind of terrorist attack in a way on her. And she's afraid to give her name to anyone. Then this is typical of the retribution that this former President Trump and his people and the hooligans who helped him out went after these innocent people. It's just painful to watch.
I have to say, Congresswoman, the only thing that gave me hope is looking all over Twitter this morning, and even some of my listeners saying they've signed up to be poll workers. That, hopefully the effect they're trying to have, the opposite is happening. People are so angry about what they saw yesterday that they're stepping up. Because you watched that yesterday, you're like, how are we going to get anybody that wants to sign up and do this patriotic work? And people are saying, in honor of Lady Ruby, I'm signing up.
My heart good, because I thought that if anything was going to discourage people from getting involved, this was it.
Yeah.
And it makes me so proud as an American that people are signing up to help.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
I got to say, I don't care what the pundits say, representative of the polls, I feel like a blue tsunami could very well be building for the fall between Roe v. Wade, between common sense gun legislation, between everything we're seeing in January 6th and people's vote being suppressed. I think there is going to be a huge backlash. How are you feeling about it?
Well, it's all about turnout. So if people are upset, and we had a briefing this morning on the consequences of getting rid of Roe v. Wade, of overturning it, which is not supported by the majority of Americans. The question is that going to be translated into the polls? And it seems as if it will. It really does change the calculation if people will actually go out and vote. We can win this election. I think we can win it on guns. I think we can win it on Roe v. Wade being overturned. And I think we can just the disgusting behavior of this last president and the harassment, that's too light a word, really,
democracy,
of ordinary Americans.
Democracy is on the ballot. That's why it's called Sexy Liberal Save Democracy Tour.
That's it.
Stay tuned for, there may be announcements. You never know, Jan. Representative, I mean. Okay. You said we already knew it was bad, but the January 6th committee continues to unveil new facts about Trump's relentless efforts to overturn the 2020 election and destroy democracy as we know it. I keep saying beyond everything else, that's what's on the ballot. democracy. We can figure all this other stuff out. Democracy, we can't. We either have it or we lose it, right?
I think the actual pictures, the voices, the videos, seeing what has actually been happening, a lot of new stuff for people, or things that they hadn't seen before or realized before are coming to light. I think that the committee is doing a fabulous job in making a presentation that everyone can relate to.
And thank you for bringing up, you had retweeted Bill Pascrell and agreed when he said that Ginny Thomas actively conspired with Trump's lawyer to overthrow democracy while her husband, Justice Thomas, was heard election cases is one of the worst breaches of trust ever in our courts. Clarence Thomas must resign. And you agreed. I mean, I
agree with that. This is the law. And again, over and over again, we're dealing with what is the law, what is illegal behavior, what should be prosecuted, what should be punished. And certainly Clarence Thomas knew better and defied the law, and I think should face the consequences. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Speaking of guns, you had a tweet that just reminded me of this horrible, I don't even know what you want to call it, spinning wheel of these gun violence. You said 9 beautiful innocent souls were taken from us 7 years ago today. When you tweeted at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina, we must take a stand against white supremacy and racism. Let's honor the victims with action and close the Charleston loophole on in the gun legislation. And I thought, Buffalo, spin the pie wheel, Representative, and Buffalo's another Charleston, right? I mean. It is just like you and then we go to Uvalde and you're like, there's another Sandy Hook. I mean, and spin the wheel and on we go. Do you have any confidence? I know things are feeling a tiny bit hopeful on some gun legislation. What are you hearing about the latest?
So what we're going to see, and the Senate is finally sending us something today that I think will be a really good thing. The Senate is going to be sending us a bill that deals with what we call the red flag law, that says that there is an opportunity. It will encourage states to allow for these red flag laws. That means that people can report someone close to them to the police, and then it'll be adjudicated if they are going to likely be harmful to themselves or others. And I think families are hoping they'll have that opportunity, that guns can be taken away from someone who might commit suicide or has threatened. And often there are signals beforehand. There's also going to be background checks for young people up to age 21. And what's the other thing we're going to do? We're going to also. The bill would.
I love when you shuffle congressional papers.
I know.
It makes me feel important, and that's the important thing.
This is important.
Boyfriend
loophole.
Yeah.
The boyfriend loophole. So right now, if a spouse has been convicted of domestic violence, then guns can be taken away. But now the boyfriend too. So if there's a relationship and that person has been convicted of domestic violence, that gun, that weapon can be taken away because, women are often the victims of domestic violence turning into gun shootings. And
well, I applaud, because you're right, it'll save millions of women's lives, and I applaud any first step, as weak as it seems to a lot of us, and how much more we need to do.
We need to do so much more. There is no reason that assault weapons are legal in the United States of America.